Welcome back to Eyewitness News. This morning we're joined by Charley O'Hara here to answer your legal questions. We already have a couple of questions on the line with callers. So hey, caller, if you're there right now, go ahead and ask your question to Charley.
Okay, yes, I'm wanting to know what can I do about, even though it's been some years now, about 8 years, and my son was killed in Wichita here and fatally shot to death back in '09, the year '09, and there's nothing that's been done about it at all, you know, no prosecution or anything at that time, and they're trying to call it a justifiable homicide, but I'm not agreeing with that whatsoever, you know, and I'd really like to have some type of justice done in his death.
Well, actually, number one, regardless of how long ago a murder happened, there's no statute of limitations on a murder. So they could file it today, they could file it in 20 years, they could file it in 70 years. A statute of limitations basically means you have a certain amount of time that the case has to be filed. On a murder case, there's no statute of limitations, at least in Kansas and I think in most places, so it could be filed at any time. In relation to the rest of your question, there's actually another option. A criminal case is a case that has to be proved beyond a reasonable doubt. A civil case, which means where people don't go to jail, can be filed. Now, it may be too late. The statute may have run on that, but you could have taken civil action against somebody even when the state claims it's justifiable homicide under the criminal laws. You may have a case to be paid money under the civil laws. The example I would go back to is, if you can all remember O.J. Simpson, he was acquitted of the criminal case but got sued in the civil case and actually lost a lot of money in that civil case. So he was found not guilty in the criminal case but lost all the money in the civil case because they proved that he committed the act that caused the death of his wife and the other gentleman.
And it's tough if something's ruled a justifiable homicide, because would that put the onus for finding evidence on the family in this case?
Well, I'm not going to go into all the things that would be proof, but yeah, that would be difficult to prove if the government thought that it was a justifiable homicide.
Okay, and when we talk statute of limitations, that's just when something has to be filed.
Statute of limitations means it has to be filed. So, for instance, if you were charged with something and they couldn't find you for 4 or 5 years, the case is still there. As long as they get it filed in the statute, which in a criminal case is about 5 years in most cases. We've had people that have been charged like for something that happened in 2010 and left the state, stayed hidden, and then came back, and the case is still good.
Right. And I'll ask the last question. Sorry, the caller's still on the line, but a couple in their 70s wanting to get married, they want to know, does she have to change her name to get married?
No, not in today's society. You sure don't.
All right. Thanks so much, Charley. Appreciate you. Thanks for your phone calls, too. We're back here in just a moment.